because you're such a fan of Ellie
And Joel.
but they are not good people. Like Joel, to some
That's
people,
so interesting you say that. That's so interesting.
But that's the thought process. Is Joel goes like Ellie is the solution to the worldwide zombie pandemic, and Joel kills the one guy who happens to know how to make it work, and that just happens to be Abby's dad. And Abby is driven by the exact same thing that Ellie is now driven by because she killed. Yeah, how's it going, everybody? This is GG Generational Gamers talking a little bit about just the evolution of kind of mobile gaming, you know, how exclusives have changed, and then egging on into our next podcast, which will be about, you know, kind of the pricing and how pricing has changed the realm of gaming as well. So appreciate you guys for stopping by. Look forward to getting your info on the, you know, the stream and stuff, or on the podcast and everything like that. Appreciate you. So first topic of the day, talking a little bit about the, you know, kind of the showcase, the direction the showcase for Xbox One. I know it was a little bit ago now, but
Sure.
You know, it's been interesting to see. Obviously, one of those where, you know, we are in a different position with gaming than we have ever been.
Big time. Big time.
And, you know, the way I grew up watching games and playing games and stuff like that, very different than kind of how it goes now. But, you know, that main topic of this direction that gaming is heading. Obviously, we had the Switch 2 come out. It's a pretty big deal. Everybody was really excited about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty good reviews so far. It's sold, I think,
Doing very well.
I think upwards of like almost like $600 million in the first day and a half of it.
Revenue
You know?
generated, yep.
Of like consoles actually sold. So obviously mobile gaming is becoming more and more popular and more kind of wanted. Obviously you have the younger generation of, you know, individuals who have grown up with, you know, phones, tablets, stuff like that. That's how they play games. Then they move towards kind of Nintendo. Nintendo's a little bit more family oriented, so you can get a lot of games for your kids and stuff. So Microsoft decided, you know what, we're going to create one of subs. What was the name? Do you remember what the name?
Yes, the Asus ROG Xbox Ally X, or the ROG Xbox Ally.
So interesting the way we are moving.
Right.
Wouldn't say it's the next like generation of console, but it is the next kind of iteration of what Xbox wants to move towards, I think.
Sure.
And then kind of like we were saying before, I've had these conversations with people about their you know, Xbox and Sony kind of, it always feels like they kind of move closer and closer to PCs. Come to find out, you're going to be having, you know, Windows uploaded onto it. You're going to have Steam on it. So one of those where they are, you know, they're one decision away from, hey, why don't we just create a PC that we can sell? And keep it updated as much as often as possible, selling pieces and parts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But one of those where, you know, Xbox, the brand of Xbox loves to keep it console related because that's what they've been doing for a long time. You know, Microsoft's always had Xboxes. Sony, same thing. They've had PlayStations for so long. So kind of give me your opinion. What do you think? Do you think it's going to be something that flowers into a positive direction? Sure. Or do you think it'll be kind of something that's a side project that only kind of gets noticed every once in a while?
Good question. So I'm actually quite excited about the direction I see Microsoft going in with Xbox. So talking about this handheld device, it is a mobile PC, but most people are looking, I shouldn't say most, many people are looking at it as a mobile PC where Microsoft is just slapping the word Xbox on it, and that is not the case.
Okay.
Right? It truly is a partnership with Asus ROG, if you will, and Xbox, in the sense that they're taking this pretty aggressive decision of taking Windows, making it more streamlined for mobile gaming. And the beautiful thing about that is now, let's say you're an Xbox user, right? Just you normally buy an Xbox console, because we know that Microsoft now, they're no longer in what was called a console race. Yeah. Right? The console race has been over for PS4 days. Yeah. Sony just ran with that, right? They just went crazy. And so Microsoft needed to figure out, you know, how can we maintain relevance in this very competitive space? And so with them going in this direction of, we want Xbox to be everywhere. That's their new tag. I shouldn't say new, but that's their thing. They want you to be able to play games everywhere.
Yeah, all the time. Cloud gaming, all that type of stuff.
Right? Game Pass, cloud gaming, the whole nine. And so now it's kind of taking a page out of the Nintendo book. Whereas with the Switch, of course, you can play it at home, dock it to your TV, walk away, and
which has always been cool. Like, it has been super awesome.
It's great about that, right? But at the same time, now Microsoft is like, but now these games, because, you know, I think Steam started with the Steam Deck, right?
Yeah.
And then you have the OLED Steam Deck, and you have oh my God, the Lenovo Go, Lenovo Legion Go. Oh, that thing is a freaking animal of a handheld device.
And I always think of like as a child, like
Yes.
I did PSPs and DS like that. It's crazy.
Right.
Random,
In the Vita, right? The PlayStation Vita.
Yeah.
No, but that's
random little tangent, but that's how I remember mobile gaming being is like these tiny little.
That's right. DSs and all that. Yeah. Now they're behemoths. Oh my God. You're holding a PC in your hand.
Yeah.
Walking around. It's
people talk about how consoles have computers now have more tech than the first spaceships we launched. And it's like, yeah, dude, this thing that plays games in front of me on a road trip. Yeah, that's pretty advanced in comparison to like,
oh my God,
most tech
1950s. You're holding like
yeah,
bro.
You got supercomputers in your hand, dog.
literally, right? And so I love that Microsoft is doing this. What's so cool though is this is the interesting psychology. So now you have Microsoft that this holiday they're launching their what do they call it? The ROG Xbox Ally, and then the ROG Xbox Ally X, and it's coming with Windows, being more streamlined and efficient for the user. It has a whole built-in Xbox UI that feels like an Xbox.
Yeah.
And then, more importantly, you have Steam on it.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Now, here's where it becomes very interesting for gaming in general. So now, because sure, there is no console war, but if I'm an Xbox gamer, Microsoft just recently dropped an announcement, trailer, which was cool. It was just a presentation of them explaining that, yes, our new Xbox console for next generation is around the corner.
Yeah.
And now there's rumors that it's going to have
Steam on it. Yeah.
Okay. So now you have Steam on the Xbox mobile PC. You have Steam built into the potential new Xbox next generation console. And if memory serves me, when Sony comes out with their first party games, watch this now. Sony comes out with their first party games. Those games are basically exclusive to PlayStation.
Exclusive. They still have a lot of that.
Right. But now Sony, maybe a year or two later, they'll drop those exclusives, their first party, on the PC, on Steam.
Yeah.
So now I'm an Xbox user who buys his Xbox, and I can play this PlayStation game on my future Xbox console.
Yeah, which is crazy because I remember growing up and like God of War was a massive, like God of War. Because I mean, again, me growing up, probably kind of when you were around my age.
Sure.
The big thing, like the massive, like there was I was a cult follower of Xbox. There was no sympathy for PlayStation when they didn't get games. When Call of Duty was bouncing between who they were partnered with, I was like, man, this is stupid. Why does PlayStation get it? Like it was always a competition.
They had the market share. Yeah. Sure.
So one of those where it's interesting because of and PC Game Pass, which wasn't out when the Xbox app came out on PCs, and is now out. Like there's and crossplay, like all of those things that seem like they were, things that we hoped for are kind of like in the works now. And every time I go and play like a game from 2018, I'm like, why doesn't this have crossplay? I'm like, they weren't doing crossplay.
No, that was so foreign back then.
So foreign. Like, it was specific, like Fortnite. I don't even think you could do it on Fort. I don't even remember, but like certain games that you just like you couldn't do it. Like it just
you can do it on some of those games you couldn't do it on. You can do it on now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
but man, we've come
so far. And one of those were again like I think that idea like it's been interesting for me because I got a PlayStation 5. 2 years ago, I think. Okay. Literally for the sole reason I got a God of War themed. Like the pack was God of War themed, so I got God of War Ragnarok with it. Sick. I played God of War 2018 on my little brother's PS4.
Right.
And so one of those were like. I was never a PlayStation person, but I did always love, like, I would watch those compilations of Kratos fighting against the gods, gods and stuff.
Amazing
stuff.
Yeah.
And then, like, Uncharted and Last of Us, like, those games they were just what I watched. Like, those were what I watched. And then, like, I played all the Halo. Like, I didn't have a PC until my second year of college.
Okay.
My little brother had one, I think, my freshman year of college, maybe my last year of high school. But, like, I didn't really play on it because I was always like, oh, I already need a PC to game, like at console's fine. Sure. And then I got to, I want to stream, I want to start doing this stuff. Oh, I should build a PC. Yeah. It's got to be strong enough to do that and game. So one of those were like, then once I got into PC gaming and how that has now changed, like Game Pass wasn't around when I was doing that, when I built a PC, like I was still buying everything.
Right.
It was all Steam related. Like I played CSGO random. I played CSGO on my parents' desktop Mac for like 5 years.
And that's Counter-Strike Go for you guys who know what's
right. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Very popular if you guys don't know. Crazy betting. Yeah, it's crazy. It's changed the way that betting works and auctioning and stuff in the gaming world has gone. But one of those were, again, kind of back to the topic. For me, Steam and stuff has now for, a couple of years, that hasn't been a problem. I haven't been, halted to only being able to play these types of games. And again, as I've gotten older, as my generation has gotten older, we've gotten to a spot where we earn money. We can buy whatever, stuff we want to buy now. And it's interesting because as a kid, like getting consoles like was astonishing. Like my parents got an Xbox One the day of Christmas break starting for me. And it was like, and it was nuts. Like it was my parents were like, hey, like this will probably be like one of a few gifts you get. I know you guys want it for Christmas break because obviously before Christmas. So, hey, here's this gift before Christmas break. You guys can play it together and stuff. And it was like, oh my God, I can't believe and then obviously it opens your minds to what's the next games. I played Rise Son of Rome, slept on game that people don't really know about.
Brilliant game when they launched. Visually
sick game. One of those were for me, it was always exclusives. Halo was what I played. Gears of War, oh my God, I was just so excited when Gears of Wars were coming out and stuff like that.
Sure.
And now I'm at a spot where I kind of have just taken a step back and I just watch how they kind of market and stuff like that and how everything gets marketed. And then obviously you see things like, Warzone for Call of Duty, I don't know, is that are they partnered with Microsoft?
So
how does that
Microsoft acquired Activision.
Okay, yeah.
So they bought them.
Okay,
so they're a first party now.
Yeah, so one of those where all of that stuff, it's interesting because now you look at it and it's like, yeah, all that stuff is live. Everything's live service. Every game's live service. Warzone is live service all the time. You got skins coming out all the time. So it's interesting just because I've taken a step back and then games have also changed it in direction of hey, what's going to be the most profitable? Does it make sense for us to continue to make these first party exclusives? Or, which is another topic you want to talk about, is is there any of that anymore? And it's interesting because to me, I think there still is, but it's very, very few games, very simple, very, very specific games now.
Yeah, that's a great topic, man. Point you're making. So let me address first the understanding of live action games, right? Sorry, live service games. Okay. So, as a gamer, right, you want to really enjoy your experiences, right? And that's what you live for. You live for the story and combat and the level design and everything that really helps you to walk away from a game you haven't even completed yet, still thinking about that game, right? It's why we do it, and we love playing the games. And there are some great live service games that are out there, and I'm gonna address this exclusive topic in a second. But I just hope that as an industry, live service games have become a slight distraction because there's this methodology of we have to make as much money as possible from the developer, or let's say more or less the publisher's standpoint, right? You have Sony running, no offense to Sony. But they've been really trying hard to, they have a game out now called Helldivers 2. It's been out for about a little bit over a year. Yeah. It's a brilliant experience.
Yeah, I love it.
Oh my God. Me and my son go hard.
It's insane. Yeah.
It's fantastic. But it's a game that has had time to maturate from the first game, and the developers, they know what they're doing with that game.
Yeah.
Just because you slap live service on a game does not mean it's going to be successful. And so I really don't like these cash grab pushes where you're trying to create these games like Concord, like the new Marathon that's going to be coming out. Thank God Sony delayed that game indefinitely to get it right. It's because, many of these live service games are losing its soul. And if it doesn't have soul, it's like, hey guys, don't just throw something at us that just looks aesthetically pleasing and think you're going to take consumers' money. I just can't stand that, right? But do I like live service games when they work? They're fantastic.
Yeah.
When they work, it's fantastic.
Which I think that's the point we're kind of at, because we talked about kind of how we're in quote unquote a lull of gaming. I kind of brought that up maybe like a week or two ago.
You did.
And just like that idea of live service has taken your game has to be everything feels like it has to be live service.
And so let me touch on that, because what's interesting about what you just said is this idea that there's a lull in gaming. It's not just an idea. I agree with that. It is a lull. But back to the idea of the exclusives. So it's an interesting a conundrum of thought, because you look at the fact that, this generation, if you look at it, Sony really hasn't dropped a lot of first-party exclusives this generation.
No.
Sony has really been supported by a lot of third-party games and a lot of remasters, a lot of remakes, and some great, really amazing second-party games, like a game like Stellar Blade. Phenomenal. I finished the game twice. Bro. I'm going through it a third time. It's a fantastic experience. Just dropped on PC. Great game, right? So I think that lull that we're experiencing, when you look at the PS4 generation, oh my God, like we got some bangers as far as Sony first party exclusives, and you knew they were exclusives. So there's a sweet spot where exclusives matter, but then you have Microsoft with their new narrative, play everywhere.
Yeah.
Right?
Everyone. And not just, it's just Xbox, it's PC, hey.
And you know, you have people that are really caught up in the console war psychology where they'll say negative things about Xbox, like, well, they have to do what they're doing now because they couldn't compete. Well, you're right, but they didn't quit.
Yeah.
Microsoft has now pivoted to, okay, we have Game Pass. How do we really make Game Pass attractive?
Yeah.
And the way we do that is offer the best games on it.
Yeah.
So they
day ones.
Oh my God. And that's the magic of Game Pass.
Yeah.
Lately, it's been really like, okay, this is looking really impressive. You have Avowed. You have South by Midnight.
Expedition 33.
Oh my God. Which will I think will maybe Game of the Year.
Yeah. Oblivion Remastered.
Bro. And then Doom Dark Ages.
Yeah.
Like Game Pass, bro. Like, so now you're saying.
When in my bad. Sorry.
No, please.
But like, one of the negatives, which we'll talk about with my kind of topic in the next one, of $70 games like Game Pass has been, hey, by the way, this game that can be $70 or $80, it's just,
subscription.
It's $120 for the year.
Yeah, but see, come on now. So now you have Microsoft dropping Forza. Gears Reloaded is coming to PlayStation 5. Like, PlayStation, here, take our games. Yeah. But they're free on Game Pass.
Exactly.
So to speak, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So now that lull of, well, those Sony exclusives, if you love video games, forget what side you're on. If you love video games, those Sony exclusives are brilliant experiences.
Yeah.
Sony hasn't done that this generation that much. Ratchet & Clank, Rift Apart, brilliant experience, great. But we haven't had a lot of that.
Yeah. And it's a lot of space in between.
It's a lot of space in between these games that are coming out, right? And then you have Microsoft saying play everywhere. Everything that you play on Xbox, everything's an Xbox, right? I love the idea of, I love exclusives personally because it's those games that have to be good because we as a manufacturer, let's say we're Sony, we have to put out an exclusive that's so compelling that our hardware is irresistible.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Correct.
And so when you go to the foundation of, let's say Microsoft and Sony, Microsoft's a software company.
Yeah,
you know
correct.
Right? They're not a hardware company.
Yeah.
And then Sony's a hardware company, right? And I had this conversation with a friend of mine's, Ruthless and Josh. We talk about this dynamic, and that is Sony, for example, they don't have a Game Pass service. They have PlayStation Plus, but their first-party games don't drop day and day one on their service. You have to buy those games, right? And what's scary is the fact that I got to spend $70 for that game today, right? Whereas Mario Kart just came out on the new Switch too. It's $80, bro.
Good God.
And by the way, watch this. What's that? Game about to come out this year. It's an Xbox game, but it's going to be on PlayStation as well. It's free day one on Game Pass. It's part 2 of a series called it'll come to me. But it's an $80 game. So what's happening is it seems like things are moving in the direction of prices going up even more, right? We made a point earlier about the sales of the Switch 2. Sales of the Switch 2 are doing well, but the third-party software is like super low in sales because the games are so expensive. Now, Nintendo's first-party games are selling well. I mean, Nintendo's first-party, right?
And that's even a crazier cult following than
it's
either Sony or Microsoft.
Madness. Like Mario, Link from Zelda.
Oh my God, yeah.
They're gonna sell. Yeah. Okay. It's gonna sell.
Mario Kart, is it the 10th one?
Bro,
I don't even know. But I have homies who were like, yeah, no, I bought it first day. I completed it first day. And I'm like,
you spent $80.
You played it for 9 hours and you finished off a lot of the stuff.
$80, bro. Like, you know what I mean?
Like, games are so party based that you can play them for so long. You can forever so much. You can do.
Yeah, they're evergreen almost.
You can bring them to friends' houses, which again,
they don't get old, bro.
And again, Nintendo just knew, hey, we're not going to compete with the story of God of War. 99% of the time.
Nintendo stays in their lane.
Yeah, and they release their story-based games every once in a while. Yeah, and when they do, they're usually pretty far.
Like this. Like, I love the Metroid series, but I think when it comes to Nintendo's first-party games, I think Zelda's at the top of the food chain.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, especially with Breath of the Wild and what's the one? What's the second one?
Oh my God, you got me on the spot. I have a brain freeze. But yes.
But those two. When Breath of the Wild came out, it was like, oh my God, we're getting a new Zelda game. Like, this is gonna be,
and you know what?
It's gonna be insane.
And that Breath of the Wild hyped it just drove me crazy. Only because at the time there was a game that came out literally within the same month. Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Was it the first one too? Not Forbidden West?
No, not Forbidden West. Horizon Zero Dawn came out, let's say February, and I'm going to say Breath of the Wild came out March of that year. I want to say 2017 if I'm correct. And yes, dynamically, Breath of the Wild was like, it was gripping because you had never seen Zelda in that light.
Yeah. It was a crazy change of it.
Bro, it was crazy. And I was happy about that experience. Yeah. But I had never played something.
Zero Dawn is so crazy.
Bro.
But
I won't go down that rabbit hole. Let's stay on subject. Yes, bro. But anyway, back to what I was saying about the exclusives. We're not done with exclusives. Exclusives aren't done. Microsoft is done with exclusives.
Yeah.
But I think what Microsoft is going to be doing is very shrewd and very impressive in the sense of they're not about exclusives.
Yeah.
Right? Sony has to be because they need to sell hardware.
Yeah. And there are massive driving reasons for, like, I got a PlayStation to play God of War Ragnarok. That was the reason I got it.
They have those compelling titles that I'm buying that console because I have to play them.
Yeah. Like, you tell people about Last of Us in the show and stuff. You watch the show and you're like, dude, you got to play the game. And they're like, I didn't even know they're the game. And you're like, exactly. Oh my God, dude.
And the game's better.
Yeah, the game's
better. The show is phenomenal, but the game is stupid.
It's astonishing. It's crazy. And then, like, the second one and the way it makes you, like, I hated the second one so much.
Did you?
And then I took a step back to recognize why I hated it. And it was like, that was the goal. The goal is to make you hate Abby so incredibly much because you're such a fan of Ellie.
And Joel.
But they are not good people. Like, Joel, to some
people.
That's
so interesting you say that. That's so interesting.
But that's the thought process is Joel goes, like, Ellie is the solution to the worldwide zombie pandemic. And Joel kills the one guy who happens to know how to make it work. And that just happens to be Abby's dad. And Abby is driven by the exact same thing that Ellie is now driven by because she killed. Yeah.
The writing is brilliant.
So when I played the game.
Yes.
And then Ellie bounces back and forth between, like, do I kill her? Do I not? Do I kill her? Do I not? And I was like, Ellie, just kill her. Like, just kill her. And yeah, again, we can talk about it forever. But one of those were like, PlayStation exclusives, which Halo is always the one that just sticks out to me. Gears of War, because we haven't had one in a long time. Sure. Like, 5 wasn't the most compelling story or anything.
Halo 5
like
Guardian? Yeah.
No, I was talking about Gears of War 5. Gears of War 5.
Oh, Gears of War
5. And just like, it's not super compelling. You kind of lose Dom. Like, you lose a lot of, like, the normal stuff. And one of those were, I mean, you talk about series going too long at some point. Halo is one of those where I've always wanted it to get back to its former glory.
Yeah.
But I don't think it ever will. And now we're in a weird spot with it. We're like, those are the exclusives. Those are the two exclusives I think of are Halo and Gears of War.
For Xbox?
Yeah, and Halo we haven't seen anything on for I don't even know how long. And then last year, obviously, they rebranded. Yeah, and they rebranded to Halo Studios instead of 343. They're Halo Studios now.
Yeah.
And then Gears of War, obviously, we have Reloaded. And then I think 2 years ago, maybe a year ago, they announced Judgment Day, which I was like,
Judgment, yes, yeah, the new Gears.
Yeah, the new Gears. Which so those are the two. But again, like the marketing for those very slim. They don't care too much about talking about them. When it comes to these games are coming out, hey, just so you know, which Infinite's weird because they said that was going to be the last one. They were just going to update it, right? If that's the case. But one of those where
it's so bad, so no,
they did so bad, yeah. So one of those where those are what I think of as Xbox games, and that's 2 games. I mean, I could point out.
Oh, Sony! Oh my God!
I mean, you could put Last of Us, the first one, as its own. Last of Us 2 as its own. I mean, even if you just play Last of Us 2 and don't know 1, you're astonished. You can play any of the God of War, any of the God of Wars, any of them.
Any timeline doesn't matter.
Does not matter.
Yeah.
You can play any of the Ratchet and Clank series. You can play the Spider-Man.
Horizon 1 or 2, Spider-Man.
Oh my God, yeah.
It's a lot.
The first Horizon game is,
And if you take me back to the PS3 days, I mean, Infamous. And
oh my God, Infamous is so good. Yeah,
Infamous is crazy.
Yeah, so one of those, and again, you see, like you said, PS5 has benefited heavily. Like a lot of their games that are, their most expensive pass is the one that gives you access to all of the, I think like a good plethora of PS3, PS2, and PS1 games. That's what that most expensive one gets. But to them, that's what sells for them. That is what's going to get people to
They're
play.
exclusives.
And again, my generation grew up with PS2 mainly, and then PS3, PS4. So yeah, hey, I'm going to remaster those games because those were the games that you guys want. We're not.
And remasters are wonderful. I'm behind them 100%.
And they don't have the capital to buy the companies like Microsoft has been doing now.
Oh my God, that aggressiveness is insane.
Insane amount of acquisitions and stuff. So Sony's just like, yeah, hey, we're not going to compete with trying to be, owning this, then this, and this. Right. Instead, we're going to just we're just going to get you what games we know you guys like. Every once in a while, we're going to get them to you. And again, to me, like, that's why I enjoy exclusives, because of the, like Halo, when Halo 4 was announced, after 7 years or 5 years or whatever,
it just does
I was like,
to you, like,
it's just different. Like, Elder Scrolls has been in this spot for a while now. We're like, Oblivion Remastered came out, obviously, which was crazy.
Online, so
What do you have? No comment. I hate
no
that.
comment.
But every time the Elder Scrolls logo pops up, I'm like, oh my god! And it's a CGI created trailer of the game that isn't even kind of the game.
Yeah, exactly. It's a bit of a heartbreak.
Very much like WoW. Like WoW, I remember like watching commercials for WoW and like their expansions and being like, oh my god, this game looks insane. And then like not
no
hammering WoW at all. Yeah. But obviously the CGI trailers are not at all like the game is. But one of those where for me, like, that's where exclusives do, like, it's just so insane like I can be, if a Halo trailer dropped tomorrow, I wouldn't stop talking about it until it came out. Like, legitimately until it came out. I've watched too many videos about the history of it or whatever. Even like Last of Us. I've been waiting on kind of, I don't know what they're doing with
the next direction.
Yeah, they said it was going to go in the direction of Abby, that they were going to go to the Fireflies and figure out kind of like what we're doing. I'm totally fine if it never does, because we've seen too many games go too long. And it's just interesting because to me, I love the exclusives, and it's just, it's just not like, we just don't do it as much anymore. But then it makes it so nuts when they do it more than anything.
When they do it. Speaking of exclusives, with exclusives does come fatigue. Yeah. In the sense of newer iterations of the same franchise, right? The Last of Us Part 2 is probably one of the best games I've ever played, in my top 3 easily. The Last of Us Part 2. The last God of War, I loved it. The last Spider-Man, amazing. Spider-Man 2. Yeah. Spider-Man 2. Amazing experience. I loved it. But then you sometimes sit back and you look at these studios. For example, there's a studio called Sucker Punch. They came out with a game called Ghost of Tsushima, right? It was the first IP. It was a new IP when it came out. Yep. And you're like, oh my God, I need more of this. Jin Sakai, this is brilliant, right? And so now
just utterly stunned. Oh my God.
Like, the game was brilliant.
Stunning.
Right? Like, you're like,
one of those where I go back and play it now, and then I don't know if have you ever played the multiplayer of that game?
Bro, are you kidding me? I'm like
I didn't recognize there was even multiplayer like 3 years until after it came out. My homie got a PS5. Bro. Religiously played it. It was insane.
It's spectacular. And then the cooperative ability with the objectives behind it, it's just next level, right? So you play a game like that. Now, this year, we have Ghost of Yatai. That's a female character. Great, cool. I'm excited to play it. Can't wait. One of my most anticipated for the year. But then you get to, let's say, Last of Us Part 2, and you finish it. You're like, okay. Then you get God of War Ragnarok, and you complete it. With some of these franchises, you're like, hey, guys, I know there's only 2 iterations of the game, like Horizon Forbidden West. Yeah. It sells like hotcakes, and deservingly. But it's sometimes that fatigue factor comes in when I want that same studio. Like when Naughty Dog announced their next new IP, I was so excited. Why?
Was that the
Prophecy?
Was it the one in space?
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
And the girl's driving she's in a ship that has a course on the back of it, right? Yes. It's the new iteration, the new IP. I'm excited about that because it's new. It's from a studio that has an incredible pedigree. Yeah. But it's like, I don't want more news right now about The Last of Us 3. I want the game. But I don't, hey guys, can I get something new from you? Right?
Yeah, 100%.
So that type of fatigue is what I'm talking about. Like, for example, I would love for Guerrilla Games, who makes the Horizon series, I have to have a Horizon 3. Sure. And I know they're working on that game now.
Yeah.
But I would also love for that Guerrilla Games to go back to Killzone.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's like, you want a live action game? I mean, a live service game? Like, that has all the makings of it.
Yeah, literally.
Don't overload us so much with something that sells because it becomes cash grab.
Yeah. I mean,
right?
I just think of COD immediately.
Immediately, right? And so, do I love exclusives? Yes. But the brilliance of exclusives is offering. Expedition 33 is a prime example of this. It's not an exclusive, but it has all of the components of a great exclusive.
Yeah.
The game is fantastic. Yeah. It looks amazing. The turn-based combat is brilliant.
Yeah.
It's like, and then the story, you're like, bro, this is freaking amazing, right?
And you can't imagine, like,
bro, it's like, who put this together? It's just, and that's what you love about new IPs. right? You want a new IP? I'm okay. The only thing I have against exclusives is that as a gamer, I want you to experience what I experienced if you've never experienced it, right? I mean, and that's where I think Microsoft is really going to make a lot of noise because they're putting their stuff everywhere. I mean, Microsoft is basically becoming a third-party developer.
Yeah, correct.
They're a third-party publisher, let's call them that, who happens to make consoles still. Like Sega jumped ship, and now they make games, whereas Microsoft, they didn't used to make consoles. They still make consoles.
Yeah, correct.
But we're third-party publisher, and they're the largest third-party publisher in the world now because of their acquisition.
If you're creating a game, then it's probably going through them at some point somehow.
Right. And they're going to put their games everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but whether you like Game Pass or not, that's a brilliant experience. It's like, and it's extremely consumer friendly.
And like one of those where it's interesting for me, I check that thing every single day. I check it every single day.
Game Pass to see what's on it?
Yeah, to see if there's a new game that got put on it.
See.
I go look through it, and again, like the goal of it is obviously to get you to be on there for a little bit. Yeah. Then you go and see and you're like, oh, actually, I do kind of want to play this instead. Like,
exactly.
That's the whole goal of it.
Yeah.
I check that every single day. And I'm like, oh, like FBC Firebreak, new game that just came out.
By the way, I'm having a good time with it.
I have not played it yet. I'm trying to get my homies to download it. Then there's
and you're on PC?
Yeah, I do PC.
Okay, so I downloaded it on my PS5 and my Series X.
Okay.
Oh my God. It got a lot of flack when it first came out because certain things weren't working. It wasn't really fully optimized. But what I love about the game, not to harp on it, is it's from there's a game called Control.
Yeah.
Have you played Control?
Yes.
Okay.
Control is
fantastic.
Control is the gal,
the female who goes in and she works for like the CIA.
Yeah, correct. Yes. And so I've never finished it, but I have played the beginning of it on PC.
Okay. What I love about Firebreak, they are not doing anything like this initially because I'm playing it. It's fun. But the altered universe world that it's in, it's basically you're the FBI or CIA agent, but you're going against the paranormal. Like you're looking, it's a paranormal things that you're investigating and whatnot. And what's so cool about the Control universe is it ties into Alan Wake 2.
I did not know that.
Bro, so if you're playing Alan Wake 2, and for those watching, if you've ever played, I highly recommend
Alan Wake is a fire game you have to play.
The first Alan Wake is good. It's good. The remaster is fine, but you don't have to have played that to like the second one. Just play Alan Wake 2, a brilliant experience. When you're playing Alan Wake 2, you don't have to get that far into the story to realize it's within the same universe as Control.
Oh, God.
Like it's the same world. It's the same world, the same narrative design and elements. I'm like, wait. And they're saying things. I've played Control twice, right? I just went hard on that game. And then
mind bending, by the way.
Bro, it's
no idea what the game was. Downloaded it and I was like, what
am I playing?
Yeah,
right?
What is going on?
Yeah, and then you're in this CIA office and then all hell is breaking loose in this place. You're like, wait, he's floating and shooting at me? Okay, it's wild, right? But then you know that it ties into Alan Wake. So then back to FBC Firebreak. The only knock I'm having now is that narratively, they're not tying in some of the weird, bizarre nuances of FBC or Firebreak into the Alan Wake and Control world, which it's in that universe.
Yeah.
So they need to do a better job of
that. Just hinting at a little bit of it, getting it into
articulating
it,
that. Yes.
So you understand that.
Yeah. So because that really like makes you want to go back and play Alan Wake 2.
Correct. Yes. Correct. Yeah. That's exactly it. Yeah. So one of those were for me like that is the point of that is to me that's my point of Game Pass. I want to see like Stalker 2. Stalker 2 I waited for I don't even know how long. I don't even know
you like
how
it?
long.
You like it?
I do.
Okay.
And it's like we talked about like Metro and playing Metro Last Light, 2033, Redo, all that stuff. And Stalker 2 has been 8 years, I think, at this point.
In the making.
Obviously difficult because of the situation going on with their developer and stuff. Right. One of those where like I waited so long for it and it cost me $0 extra to get. It was $0 extra for me to play. Like Doom is like that. We're like,
oh, bro.
Dude, Doom Eternal, Doom and what was the first one? Was it just called Doom?
Doom. Was it 2016?
Yeah, it was just Doom.
Then Eternal. Then
and then Dark Ages. So one of those were like I played. I think Eternal was one of the first games I played through streaming wise. That was like
on Game
fully through. It was on Game Pass.
Before that, it was on Game Pass.
But I was just saying like it was one of those where like I paid $70 for that game, $65 or whatever it was.
So worth it.
And yeah, so sick. And then they were like, oh yeah, by the way, it's just gonna be on Game Pass. And I was like, wait a minute, like what? For real? Like actually I can just play this on Game Pass? And every time, which obviously I always kind of get annoyed with like the showcases when they're just like, dude, you don't need to show me that's coming out on day one every single time you show a new game. I'll figure it out when it comes out on it.
Sure.
That's more just like pace of the showcase and stuff. But one of those where I'm always just like, I can't believe this is gonna be on game. Oh my god, this one's on. This one is well. This one is well. This one is like.
Bro, their last showcase.
It's not about is it going to be on Game Pass? It's about is it not going to be on Game Pass? What game is not going to be on Game Pass?
Listen, man, I'm gonna tell you, and I really am I take a really unbiased approach. Do I have my favorites? I really don't. As far as games, sure. But as far as Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, I couldn't care less.
Yeah, me not anymore.
I really couldn't care less. There was a time when I did.
Yeah.
But I have to think like a consumer. And what's the best for me as a consumer, right? Because we hear a lot of things about, well, Game Pass isn't sustainable. And Game Pass is negative in this regard. But at the end of the day, when I saw that Doom Dark Ages, I could click it and it says install. What part of that
is bad for me?
It's bad for me as a consumer. I'm sorry. Like, I literally will look at the articles that have strong arguments about Game Pass, and there are developers who said, "Hey, for us, Game Pass isn't viable financially for us." Okay, fine. Respect.
Right?
And
you don't have to. And I think it is agreement that Xbox makes with each game, not each company.
Exactly. Now, if it's a first-party Microsoft game, and I, as a social media strategist myself, I love the idea of beating the idea home with a consumer, which is at their last showcase, and they beat us across the head with on Game Pass. On Game Pass.
It's stated, told, said,
and this
video, everything.
And this was very shrewd and impressive to me. They would show you at their Microsoft, bravo, at their showcase, they showed these compelling game experiences, right? Now, history tells us that if Sony or Microsoft shows a game and it's a game that's a multi-platform or a third-party publishing game, it's going to be on every platform.
Correct.
But if I'm showing the game at Sony, I'm showing that that's only going to it's coming to our platform.
Yeah,
I'm not going to put Xbox on our marketing.
The showcase is for Sony games.
Right. Not Microsoft.
No, yeah.
They showed you the game and said, come into Game Pass, but at the bottom, the articulation was Xbox Series S.
Yeah, here's all the
PS5, PC, and they kept driving that point home. And psychologically, I'm like, $70 or free. Literally, that's what I kept doing. I'm like,
exactly. Why would I have a PlayStation to buy this game?
That part.
What is the point of me buying a PlayStation to buy this game? Which again, like I said, I've taken a back seat, and as we kind of wrap up here, I've taken that back seat because I have a PlayStation, because I have a PS5, and I have that because of some of one of the main reasons I was excited was because there were certain games that were console cross and not PC cross. You could play console cross, or you could play PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, and you couldn't do PC. And I was like, oh, sick. MLB The Show is one of them. Like MLB The Show, I don't believe is cross-platform. It might be with PC. I know it is with Switch. But like one of those where I was excited because I was like, oh, I can still play with my homies on Xbox. They all have Xboxes and stuff. They have a couple Series X's, but they're like very much in the, well, we still do Series X. We just have a couple games on PlayStation.
Right.
Helldivers, when they all got, Helldivers, I was like, oh, sick. Like a few of us can play Helldivers together. So one of those where for me, taking that back seat and really like you said, like not being biased to it of like, I love PlayStation. Like I thoroughly enjoy
Sony's
PlayStation. Like
right now.
And every single time, again, like you said, every single time they announce an exclusive, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
It's like Christmas.
When does it come out? When does it come out? How much is it going to be? But one of those where for me, that back seat has allowed for that exact point, watching the showcase. Hey, Series X, it's free on, but PlayStation 5,
I gotta pay $70.
70, maybe 80. Looks like games might be moving towards an $80, spot now. And I mean, it's tough for me to throw 70. 60 felt okay to me.
Oh my God, 60 is so wonderful nowadays.
60, I was like, it's fine. And now you're seeing, I think it's interesting because I think we are heading towards another golden age of gaming because of all of this competition now. And you're seeing games that are, hey, if we release for a lower price point, does that mean we get more, more sales, more players, more consistent players? There's games that are coming out for $45, $50, and it's like, to me, I'm like, oh my God, $40? That's it?
That's amazing.
It's all it's only $30. That's not even that. That's an extra, a little bit of time working. Like, but $70, I see that and I'm like,
that's groceries.
And I'm like, man, dude. Right now, yeah, exactly. That is exactly.
That's gas, man. Like,
that's exactly. Yes, $70. That's almost a tank of gas for me to drive for the week. Like, yeah, it's crazy to me. So for me, kind of as we move into this, our next topic, our next podcast.
Sure.
Gaming pricing is something that has changed so heavily in previous years.
Yeah.
And with, which it's tough because you see the hardware is insanity now.
Yes.
Unreal Engine 5 will be utterly ridiculous.
These
and
PCs,
will
these
give
graphics
people
cards.
the opportunity to create. Expedition 33 is a great example of a developer that got a tool, got really good with the tool, and created
Small team, bro.
and created one again, like you said, possibly game of the year. We're at a spot where
it's gonna be hard to beat that game.
people who just love games can create game of the year candidates, who can create the best soundtracks in gaming, and that's all again because Unreal Engine 5 is free. You can download Unreal Engine 5, and again, what's great for Unreal? More people on their engine all the time creating stuff in Fortnite, creating stuff X, Y, and Z. So, but real quick, we'll do our outro again. Thank you, Derek, for stopping by doing the first one with us.
Man.